In my previous videos, I talked about several red flags men should never overlook in relationships. Some of those points are worth repeating. Not because I'm out of ideas, but because too many men are still falling into the same traps. In this video, I'm revisiting a few key red flags that continue to destroy relationships from the inside out. It seems like everything is going well. I met a woman. I'm not exactly lacking in female attention, and I know that I'm often in demand among the opposite sex. But the moment, during a conversation, I hear certain phrases or remarks from her, I instantly distance myself from her by hundreds of miles and no longer consider having anything to do with her, which is something I advise you to do as well. But everyone has their own head on their shoulders, so it's up to you to decide. Here are the kinds of thoughts or statements that make me immediately pull away. At that point, I try to extract as much information from her as possible to understand her worldview, so that later on I don't end up stepping into a mess, working 3 jobs just to support her needs or whims and all that nonsense. And the most important red flag that I pay close attention to is if she says, in any context, that I owe her something. The second red flag is that she's convinced a man must, at the very least, have his own apartment and car. Otherwise, to her, he's just a worm unworthy of female attention. The third red flag: she dumps all the dirt about her exes. That tells me that sooner or later the same will happen to me. The moment something about me doesn't suit her, she'll easily replace me with someone else and tell the same kind of stories about me to the next guy. And more often than not, the men she speaks so badly about were actually normal and reasonable guys. The fourth sign: she starts comparing me to another man, especially if that comparison clearly isn't in my favor. The fifth red flag: she believes that I have to earn her attention. Seriously? Like she's some kind of goddess whose attention must be deserved? Let her be the one to earn my attention, not the other way around. The sixth red flag: if it's our first date, or, for example, I met her on a dating site where she didn't mention in her profile that she has kids, but then during the meeting I find out she has a child from a previous marriage. Or even if she doesn't have a child, but she's been married before and somehow ended up breaking up her family, then I disappear from her life forever. I don't want someone like that. Seventh red flag: she's convinced that a man must pay for her in restaurants and cafes. She acts like it's not her concern at all and explains it by saying, "Well, you're the man, so you pay." Eighth red flag: she brags to me about having had a lot of men. Ninth red flag: she clearly lets me know that she would never put her man first in her life. For her, friends or something else are supposedly more important. 10th red flag: she tells me she has bad habits and has no intention of ever giving them up. 11th red flag: if I find out that she said even one rotten word about me to someone else, I immediately cut all ties with her and end the relationship. And so I try to pay special attention to these 11 points, because women like that instantly become uninteresting to me, and I just don't see any future with them. The truth is, many men simply don't know how to choose the right woman for life. Some just think, oh well, it's not a big deal, she'll change later. But in reality, if those traits are part of who she is, they'll only get worse over time. I hope this video helps you to make the right decision. See you in the next video.